What's going on, my friends? I keep looking, the camera's there. I keep looking over here because my iPhone's kicked to the side, so it's not a center camera when it's tilted. So, anyway, hope you guys are well. I haven't jumped on in a few. I wanted to jump on and talk about something real quick here, kind of cool. You've heard it mentioned before. If you've been in this business a while, you know as well as I do what I'm about to talk about. I think it's more apparent in the last few years than ever. It's just how important titles are in your tracks. When you have editors and production companies looking through these lists of tracks that have been cleared for them, and they're looking for a good track to use, it's unbelievable how true it is, how much a title gets their attention to listen to it. It's funny because years ago I wrote tracks I think I mentioned that I'd written a few dramedy tracks and I didn't know I was writing dramedy, but the title was different. But it got used as kind of a dramedy based track, and I guess they were just clicking through, and that particular editor just happened to not really pay attention to the title. And I can't remember the title, but it was a few of them I did for Jingle Punks. And it was years ago when I was just doing tracks and throwing them at the wall like spaghetti just to see if it would stick, I mean, you can't do that. And those are happy accidents, but it's not knowing how to structure and write for TV and film, basically writing production music and writing for library music. It's a much different beast, as I've said before, and many have said before, than writing hit songs or something in that wheelhouse. Singer-songwriter stuff for TV is structured differently in a certain way where it caters to that. And there's an art form in that, there really is. But to me, it's harder to name these tracks than it is, putting a good title on than it is to create them. And I've gotten to a point where am trying. I don't do it every time, like I didn't do it today, but I did in the middle way of the track. I came up with the title before I finished it, so I know I had it. One less thing I needed to do, but I think the title kind of helps put you in a good mindset to help create that track. In other words, you've got a real metaphoric title that really captures the mood of that track in the genre that you're doing. It's something that will catch an editor's eye, and that editor will go, that's a pretty good name. And I mean, in fact, the tension track I'm doing today, I cannot believe no one's used this title, but I looked around and searched it and Googled it, and maybe someone has, I just hadn't seen it, but it wasn't in the publisher that I'm putting it for, so I can't believe no one used it for that publisher. Maybe someone has used the title, but I just called it Mark of a Serial Killer. Well, it's pretty cut and dry and to the point. Pretty self-explanatory. Mark of a serial killer, excuse me, is gonna have something to do with crime, tension, or something very dark and maybe scary. Now, how scary it's going to depend on what the editor is looking for. It's really going to depend on that. And I don't want to get too loud here, but you can hear how it starts. It starts real dramatic, it's tense, and it goes into pulsing stuff that they love. Simple. I usually do a simple 4-note or 4-chord progression starting out. Sometimes one note and I go into it like I did. And it builds. But you get the point. You get the point on that track if you heard it correctly. Hopefully you did. And how I build on, I call stair step. It's like stair step composing. You want to have A, B parts, go back to A in a different broken down format less, and build it back up to a C part, or maybe another B part that's your big finale. I don't really concentrate on this whole A-B structure thing, You kind of did it when you were doing singer-songwriter stuff, but it was different, But I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. I have spring stuff, man. I don't know what it is. Excuse me. Oh man, here we go. Whew, excuse me. It's crazy. I don't have allergies, but I do have irritants. I don't know what the difference is, but I know whether it's dust or something. Last couple of days it's been crazy. Sorry about that. Anyway, my point is that titles will drive an editor to listen to this track, and it's either going to give them what they want or they're still looking for something else. And the better odds are it's going to be your track. You never know because they're going through a lot of music that's been cleared for them in these piles. Like when these production companies take in music from these libraries, they go in and catalog them and they clear them and they'll tag them and do everything they need and they'll hand them to the appropriate editors. A lot of times it's the specific editors and the other times it's just across the board. They're looking through one system, whether it be a sports, documentary editors, reality show editors, you name it. And these editors talk about all the time what they look for in track, and titles come up. It's one thing, the majority of editors that are polled talk about how the title catches my eye. It gets me to click it. But they will say sometimes they'll just click through if they're in a hurry or if they're looking for a specific thing that maybe titles aren't that important. But most of the time, you always hear them talk about titles catch my eye. Because you've taken the time to give me a title, you've pretty much, that title is locked in on that mood and that genre. Chances are you're specifically there with it. You really are. Now, Dave Croft, I know I've mentioned him before, and y'all are probably going, he's mentioned this guy before. Maybe I need to go check him out. He's got a really good YouTube channel, and he's also, his Facebook group has moved. He's got his own Mighty Networks site to where 52Qs is over there. So he runs a group called 52Qs, and it spins off it spins off Dan Graham's, 52Qs group too as well. But Dave has done his own, and Dave Croft is just amazing. He's an instructor at Full Sail University, and I love him to death. He's an amazing talent, and I've learned a lot from him, as I've learned a lot from a lot of people, because one thing I will tell you as a side note, never stop learning in this business. Always keep looking for new things. I follow still, like I was watching a video today, I follow YouTube channels on techniques and learning the best I can on how to do different things, because I really want to get into trying to do more of my own sound design, and that's hard. But if you can get your own technique about doing it, it's an art form that you can build your own technique of doing it if you learn how to do it. And even Dave has talked about this stuff. Dave Croft has talked about he wants to do more of that as well, because it really does help. Saves you a little bit of money just buying all these libraries, which I'm crazy addicted to buying this stuff. But the other day I bought a bunch of Omnisphere extensions from Triple Spiral Audio, and they're amazing. Check Triple Spiral Audio out if you get a chance. They do some amazing extensions for not just Omnisphere, but they do for Serum, a lot of contact libraries, Dune, and several other things. So go check that out as well. But anyway, Dave talked about on this video the other day about titling, and he did an amazing job at laying out. He play his songs, and he actually did it with example of some tracks he's done, and he's got some really cool, creative, funny titles that he said those titles have really gotten me placements on a lot of stuff with CBS and a lot of sports stuff and various other TV shows. So it's very important, and go watch that video. It really will. It's very insightful. It really is. But I wanted to talk about how important that is, because every day it's a part of my process to figure what the title of that track is before I complete it. Once the track is done or in the middle of the process, before it's even mixed and mastered and cataloged. It has to be, because I can't put it in Composer Catalog, and I can't file it accordingly, and I cannot upload it to my publisher until that title is in place. And I do have a few techniques on what I do with finding my titles, and I sometimes I'll Google and think metaphoric, but you have to use your imagination, but don't use titles that are more than 3 words, 4 unless it's 2-letter words between those 2 words. Like mark of a serial killer is 4 words, but it's small enough where it fits in that window. It doesn't blow off the screen, and they're looking at what is that. You want the editor to be able to see that title concise. Usually, to me, the best titles, and Dave even says this, 2 to 3 words, that's it. Small words or 2 words. 1 word, the very small percentage of 1-word titles, it has to be that 1 word that captures the mood of that. And there's not many words that can, in 1-word titles, that can capture that. I've got a few, and they did capture it, but it just happened to be that one title that's gotten close to do it, and they've gotten placed. There are maybe others, I'm not sure. I'd have to go look back, see if they've gotten placed. I mean, I've got somewhere around 1,200 tracks up there, so I don't know how many. I've done a lot of tracks over the last 12, 13 years. So anyway, I wanted to get on and mention that and bring that up and point you guys over to that video. It really is a great video. I was watching it while I was driving down the road the other day. Not really my eyes off the road. I was listening, but you know how it is. Safely watching that video. Let me rephrase that if I will. But I hope you guys are well, and I appreciate you for watching. Keep that in mind when you're composing tracks, because it really is helpful. Titles are very important. It has helped me a lot. I can tell you, I've really honed in on the last 2 years on that in a different technique than I did prior. Prior to the last 2 years, I was always conscious of my titles, because I learned that about 4 or 5 years ago, how important that is. But it really is important, and these titles have really helped me with one particular publisher, maybe 2. One, I know that every day it seems like I'm getting detections coming in, a lot of stuff, and it's tension music being placed and stuff for that, and it's a huge appetite for that stuff. It really is. I'm impressed, speaking of genres that have a big appetite, I'm impressed at how much dramedy has, dramedy, how popular it is, and how the percentage of dramedy music, even over tension, gets placed. As a side note, today, Dan Graham posted a graph. He's very detail and data-oriented. He's a very smart guy. Dan Graham posted that just in his libraries, all of his group of libraries alone, he did a percentile of, I don't know if it was for 1 quarter over the last year, maybe over the last year, as to what tracks have underscored. Because dramedy is an underscore, tension underscore, you get it. Solo, acoustic, piano, stuff like that. Solo, minimal, orchestral. Just a huge list of stuff in dramedy topped the list. Over tension underscore. Tension underscore, I think, was like the 3rd most used, 3rd or 4th. It was a couple of different tension there, but dramedy. He listed as quirky underscore. Quirky, comedic, falls in the dramedy category. Unbelievable. And that's in his library. Now, that's not to say in every library, but he's got a lot of music in different libraries that he has. It speaks volume. It really does. So anyway, I'm getting off. I don't want to run too terribly long. Keep that in mind, and I thank you for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. Be cool. Bye.